I received a call from a tax officer claiming that I owed $5,000 in back taxes and that a warrant was out for my arrest. He was screaming that the police were already en route to my house. I calmly listened and then asked, "If you are from the IRS, why is the caller ID showing scam likely? And why are you asking me to pay the fine in Applebee's gift cards?" He paused for a solid 10 seconds, mumbled something about government partnerships with restaurants, and then hung up when I started laughing. I was selling a used PlayStation 5 on a local marketplace app. A guy agreed to meet me at a police station safe exchange zone, my choice. When he showed up, he tried to hand me a stack of cash. I counted it. The texture felt wrong. I held one up to the light. In the corner, instead of the United States of America, it clearly said, "For motion picture use only." I looked at him, then pointed to the police officers walking out of the station 10 feet away. He actually asked if he could trade the fake money for the console anyway, because he drove a long way. A guy at a gas station approached me with a gold ring. He gave me a sob story about how he lost his wallet. He needed gas to get home to his sick kid, and he was willing to sell me this pure 18K gold ring for just $40 cash. It looked huge and shiny. I looked him in the eye and pointed to the stamp on the inside of the ring. It clearly said brass in tiny letters. Also, his car was running, and the gas tank indicator, which I could see through the window, was full. He grabbed the ring back and sprinted away. I work in IT. I got a call from Microsoft support, claiming my computer had a dangerous virus. The scammer guided me to the event viewer to show me critical errors. I decided to play along for 20 minutes, acting terrified. Finally, he asked for my credit card number to install the antivirus. I told him, "Wait, does this software work on a typewriter because I don't own a computer?" The silence on the other end was deafening before he launched into a string of curses and slammed the phone down. Someone hacked my grandmother's Facebook account and started messaging family members. I got a message from Grandma saying, "Hello dear, I am stuck in London. I was mugged and lost my passport and wallet. Please wire $1,000 so I can fly home." I was literally sitting in the kitchen eating lunch with my actual grandmother at the time. I took a selfie with her, holding a sign that said, "I'm eating a tuna melt in Ohio," and sent it back to the hacker. They blocked me immediately. I was walking in a city downtown when two guys in a white van pulled up next to me. The driver yelled, "Hey man, we just finished an audio installation job and we have an extra $2,000 home theater sound system." My boss said to toss it, "But I'll sell it to you for $100. This is a classic scam. I looked at the box. It was shrink wrapped, but the branding said magnet box and the graphics were pixelated. I told him, "Open the box and let me see the speakers." He refused, saying he didn't want to break the seal. I know for a fact that box was filled with bricks. I was working retail at a clothing store. A woman came in, grabbed a stack of jeans from a display table near the front and walked straight up to the register. She slammed them down and demanded a refund because she didn't have the receipt. I stared at her. I had watched her walk in empty-handed 30 seconds ago. I told her, "Ma'am, the jeans are still warm from being under the display lights." She started screaming that I was accusing her of stealing. My manager just pointed to the security monitor behind the counter, which was playing a live feed of her grabbing the jeans. I got a generic email saying, "We have hacked your webcam and recorded you doing intimate things. Send 1 Bitcoin or we release the video to your contacts." The email listed a password as proof that they hacked me. The password was 112346. Also, I used a desktop computer that didn't have a webcam. I replied letting them know that if they managed to record footage from a camera that doesn't exist, they deserved the money for being magicians. I never heard back. My dad got a call from a guy claiming to be his grandson. The scammer whispered, "Grandpa, I'm in trouble. I'm in jail in Mexico. Please don't tell Mum and Dad. Just send bail money." My dad, who loves messing with people, said, Which grandson? Is this Jimmy? The scammer eagerly said, Yes, it's Jimmy. My dad doesn't have a grandson named Jimmy. He doesn't have any grandsons. He has 3 granddaughters. He kept Jimmy on the line for an hour, asking about his non-existent Mexican vacation before the guy realized. I drove to a concert and looked for parking. A guy in a yellow safety vest waved me into a gravel lot and asked for $40 cash. He gave me a ticket that looked like it was ripped off a raffle roll. Something felt off. I asked him, What time does the lot close? He shrugged and said, Whenever. I drove around the block and came back. I saw a police car pulling into the lot. The attendant saw the cop, threw his vest into a bush and ran away. It wasn't a parking lot. It was just an abandoned construction site he didn't own. A guy knocked on my door wearing a reflective vest and a hard hat. He claimed he was from the water department and needed to come inside to check my water pressure for leaks. Something felt off because he was wearing sneakers, not work boots, and his vest said event staff on the back. I asked to see his badge. He patted his pockets and said he left it in the truck. I pointed out that the only truck on the street was a bakery delivery van. He ran off across the lawn. I worked at a pizza place. We had a serial prank caller who would try to scam free food. One day he called saying, I ordered a pepperoni pizza an hour ago and it never came. I want a refund and a fresh pizza. I asked for his address. He gave it. I looked at our caller ID history and our order system. He hadn't ordered anything. I told him, Sir, we don't deliver to that street because it's outside our zone. He paused and said, Oh, well, can I come pick up my free apology pizza then? No. My friend got roped into a pyramid scheme, MLM. She posted a photo on Facebook of herself standing next to a white Mercedes with the caption, Thanks to my essential oils business, the company just bought me this new car. Waha boss babe. She forgot to crop the photo. In the reflection of the car window, you could clearly see the car dealership salesman standing there holding the keys, waiting for her to stop posing so she could get off the lot. Someone commented, Is that the salesman? And she deleted the post. I received a text message from the CEO of the company I work for. The text read, Hello, my name. I am in a meeting and cannot talk. I need you to urgently purchase $500 in iTunes gift cards for a client gift. Send me the codes immediately. I looked up from my desk. The CEO was standing 5 feet away from me, making coffee in the break room. I walked over and showed him the text. He laughed and said, Well, do I get the gift cards or not? We reported the number to IT security. A guy tried to sue me for hitting his car in a parking lot. He claimed I backed into him and caused massive damage to his front bumper. He had photos of the dent and everything. He submitted the photos to insurance. The only problem? In the background of his own photos, there was a reflection in a store window that showed him hitting a concrete pole with a hammer to create the dent. The insurance adjuster literally laughed on the phone when he denied the claim. I was walking in Paris near the tourist spots. A woman bent down in front of me, picked up a gold ring from the ground, which she had clearly just dropped, and tried to hand it to me, saying, You dropped this. I said, No, I didn't. She then tried to put it in my hand, saying, It is good luck. Keep it. Just give me money for coffee. I took the ring, looked at it, and threw it as far as I could into the Seine River. The look of pure horror on her face as she watched her prop disappear into the water was priceless. I saw an ad for a luxury apartment downtown for a suspiciously low price. I emailed the landlord. He gave me a story about being a missionary in Africa and said he couldn't show the place in person, but if I wired the deposit, he would mail me the keys. I did a reverse image search on the photos of the apartment. They weren't even real photos. They were screenshots from the Sims 4 video game. I replied, Does the apartment come with the plumb bob? I work at a bank. A customer came in with a guy who was clearly coaching him, The customer wanted to withdraw $9,000 in cash. The guy with him was doing all the talking, saying it was for home renovations. I passed a note to the customer that asked, "Are you being scammed?" The customer looked terrified and nodded slightly. I triggered the silent alarm. It turned out the guy had convinced the elderly customer that his roof was about to collapse and demanded cash up front. The contractor didn't even have a business card. Someone tried to scam me on a dating app. A beautiful girl matched with me, and within 10 minutes she was telling me she loved me. Then she said her phone was about to get cut off and asked me to send her $50 for the bill so we could keep talking. I told her, "That's crazy, I actually work for the phone company. Give me your number and account PIN and I can credit your account for free." Unsurprisingly, she unmatched me immediately. I got a call saying I won the Publishers Clearinghouse grand prize of $5 million. I just had to pay a $250 processing fee via Western Union to release the funds. I asked the scammer, "If I won $5 million, why can't you just take the $250 out of the $5 million and send me the rest?" He started stuttering and explained that federal law prohibits deducting fees from winnings. I asked him to cite the specific code of federal law. He hung up. A police officer called me, claiming my social security number was found in a car full of drugs in Texas. He said my assets were frozen and I needed to transfer all my money to a secure government wallet, Bitcoin, to protect it. I asked him for his badge number and precinct. He gave me a number. I said, "That's funny, because I'm actually a dispatcher for that exact precinct, and we don't have an officer by that name. Shall I trace this call?" The line went dead instantly. I attempted to buy concert tickets on Facebook Marketplace. A profile with no picture and the name John Ticket, I know, offered me front row seats for $50 each. The concert was sold out and tickets were going for $300 plus. He sent me a picture of the tickets as proof. The date on the ticket was for the previous year and the venue name was spelled wrong. When I pointed it out, he said, "Those are just placeholder images. The real ones are fresh." Yeah, right. A guy at a bar tried to bet me $100 that he could tell me where I got my shoes. I knew this was a classic con. I figured he would say, "You got them on your feet." So I took my shoes off and held them in my hands. I said, "Okay, tell me." He stared at my bare feet, then at the shoes in my hands, and realized his punchline didn't work anymore. He awkwardly mumbled, at a shoe store," and walked away defeated. I work at a hotel front desk. We get calls from people claiming to be the owner, asking us to override the system or give out guest info. One night a guy called and said, "This is Mr. Marriott. I need you to give me the room number for celebrity name." I said, "Mr. Marriott, the Bill Marriott, isn't he like 90 years old?" The guy deepened his voice and said, "Yes, I am very spry for my age." I told him, "Sir, we are a Hilton." A suspicious guy was going door to door in our neighborhood selling home security systems. He asked a lot of questions about when we are home, if we have dogs, and if we have an alarm currently. My neighbor, a massive guy covered in tattoos, opened the door holding his pit bull. The scammer asked, "Do you have an alarm system?" My neighbor pointed to the dog and flexed his bicep. "Yeah, 2 of them. You want a demo?" The guy skipped the rest of the houses on the block. I was at the train station, and a well-dressed guy ran up to me in a panic. He said his wallet was stolen, and he needed $20 for a ticket to get home, and he would Venmo me back double once he got there. I might have believed him, except I commute through that station every day. I had seen him giving the exact same panic speech to different people on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I told him, "You've been trying to get home for 4 days. Maybe you should just walk."